What's up, guys? Welcome to the Making Comics check-in with myself, Chris McQuinlan, and the very awesome Marshall Lee down the bottom in the little avatar here. How you doing, man?
What's up? How you doing?
Good, man. This is episode 10. We are finally into the double digits of these little series that we've done, which is quite impressive, I think. I think that we've gone 2.5-ish months to do this.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty cool. Still have those
that
days
is.
where I just want to give up, but we keep smashing through it. So, despite whatever comes our way, uh,
hmm
rain, hail, or shine. Um, so it's been an interesting week for me, but in true fashion, I'm going to throw the ball straight to you and say, how was your week, man? How have things gone? You had a rough week last week, as we all know, and hopefully people came through and hooked you up with some commissions and things. Like, how's it been?
It's been good, man. It was a rough week. All week long, and it ended up working out to the point where I'm gonna be sending my rent check in today, actually, and I got a lot of love from the community helping me out. So thank you. A lot of you possibly are watching this. So I really appreciate it. You guys, you're freaking awesome. And a lot of the 100 Days of Making Comics community stepped in, and that was awesome, and hit me up with commissions. So there was that. I also had some family help me out too with, to be honest, the bulk of it, but still, like, that extra amount helped me, like, be able to have food and stuff, so, and also another unforeseen event came. I was driving in the rain, and all of a sudden my windshield motor went out, windshield wiper motor. So that was like this whole thing, so I had to spend some money to a go to the junkyard and get a new motor and put it in myself and stuff. So that also was a big help, with the commissions, having that extra money. Just, it was awesome. And I still have to catch up and whatnot, but I got through the crisis, so I'm very grateful for that. So yeah.
Glad to hear that, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, with everything that's happened, did you manage to get much done during the week as
Yeah,
far
I was gonna
as
do the bare minimum, comics, half an hour a day at least, and I got more than that done. There was a couple days where I did about an hour or so. Um, the progress is weird though. A lot of it ends up being like research and stuff that needs to be researched, and I don't even like to count research usually, but sometimes that's all I can get out, So it is what it is, but I try my best to do actual work as the thing. But yeah, had some cool little things, and I don't think it's like I'm working on Glyph, but I feel like I need to stop like announcing what I'm working on because I just change constantly. There will be comics that come out for me though at some point. I wish that what I was doing was working on pages, and I feel like once I do get to working on pages, that's gonna be like, it's gonna end up going so quick, and then I'm gonna be back to this like writing stage, and it's like, I want to be in the making pages stage, more often than not. But anyways, it is what it is. But I had another really cool idea yesterday, and so I don't know. I can come up with ideas all day long, and I try to execute them. It's not like I'm not trying to execute them and working every day hard on it, but
you're
it's just weird. What's that?
you're a sucker for punishment?
I am. I'm a sucker for creativity,
Yes.
which in turn ends up being punishment sometimes. um, but so there's that. But I'm also having a blast doing these commissions. I was actually telling Chris this. I have one commission. It's a Daredevil commission, and it's like, that's just one of the many. And I did a Lobo piece recently, which came out, like, I really love how that came out. It was super fun to do. But this Daredevil one, it's like you'd think it's simple, right? But it's like it's like you can't hide any of your inability to like draw like anatomy and stuff.
Yeah. There's,
So, it's been difficult for some reason, but I think I'm gonna do what you said and just steal a pose.
yeah, I don't think there's any harm in doing that, man. It's when you're coming to a character like Daredevil or like I mentioned talking to you like Spider-Man, there's almost this pressure to do a pose that's super dynamic as well. Like
Hmm.
just because someone said Daredevil, like the first thing you think of is the dude just flinging around in the air with like his nunchuck things and string everywhere. Like
Yeah,
that's sort of the first thing that comes to mind. But I think too, I mean, like if that's not the type of artist you are, like don't be afraid to do something that's a little bit more static and just a singular pose or something like that. Um,
yeah, I've
it's
tried
easy to
that
fall into
too.
that trap of trying to be super dynamic when that's not who you are.
It's funny though, like I'm actually the opposite. Like I get bored with like the static thing.
Okay.
Um, so like I don't know, like I do like that sometimes, but like you know how a lot of people they do commissions and they'll be like, well, you can get a bust for this much and you can get this for that much, and you know, a bust like I still have never drawn a proper bust because it's just too boring for me. But it's like the easiest thing to do, you know?
Yeah.
But like I should just do a bust and make it like really cool and detailed or something or whatever, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll
Whenever,
figure it out.
whenever I was doing bust too, I'd also try and do something, try and keep the angle quite dynamic just
Hmm.
to create interest. Because if it was just like some dude just like looking on a side angle, like I wouldn't be personally impressed with it. So it'd be like
Yeah,
having them like the camera, like thinking about it if it was like from a camera point of view, like underneath or like from above or something like that.
right. Yeah, no doubt. So let's see. Yeah, I've been working on the commissions. I did the comics, and I did read comics, which I didn't put on my list because I was just doing the bare minimum. But I had the week before I had gotten some of my alternate comics in, which was awesome,
Nice.
and it came out on a Wednesdays. Like I think this was the first issue. It's a bi-monthly. It's going to be a bi-monthly anthology, which if anybody's interested in, that's one you can submit for, and it's a good way to get your foot in the door in a publishing thing. And I'm definitely going to be submitting some stuff for it. But yeah, so it's like just little short stories, and it's like a double sized issue, and there's just a bunch of different stories of different lengths of, and they're different. They're I think it was sci-fi, fantasy, and horror genre, so basically anything.
Yeah.
um, so I don't know. It's pretty cool, and so I read. I didn't read the whole thing, but I read a few of the stories from there, most of it, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that's what I read for comics this week. I'll most likely be reading. I'm a little bit. Maybe I shouldn't even say, but I'll most likely be reading. I Never Forgot from Mr. Noah, aka Samurai Ox, and because I have to do a commission for him, and
Ah,
I want to get familiar with the characters and stuff, and you know, sad to say I haven't read it yet. Not because I haven't wanted to, but it's just haven't gotten to it yet.
yeah.
Um, so I think I'll be getting into that.
Yeah. I actually haven't read the full comic myself. I think I've read maybe the first chapter or so. And I
Hmm.
haven't just haven't picked it up since yet. So I actually lent it to one of my friends for a while because being that Noah's from so far away, yeah, I thought
Hmm.
not something you can generally get down here very easily. So
Oh,
I only just
oh,
recently
cool.
got back, which is why I've only read the first chapter.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you're not alone. I have 100 comics that like I haven't even read yet. It's ridiculous. I think I'm
Yeah.
like a collector. Like the more I think about it, I just like the idea of collecting comics rather than actually reading them.
Yeah. I mean,
Looking for those supporting comics artists as well.
yeah. And I mean, you're a little younger than me, but you know, as far like growing up for me, like I was like right in the midst of the whole collector's boom or whatever, and really the collector's boom is going on now still. So I guess well, maybe not boom, but it's still, that's very much a part of
The culture.
comics, and less emphasis on actually like reading comics. And but you know, I'm trying to get more. I want to be more on the side of reader than collector, and but I get caught up in that too, sometimes.
Yeah. I actually fell into that trap this weekend. I found a copy of Zap, which is one of
Hmm.
like, Scott McCloud's first book, and it's massive. And it was in like the thrift shop, and I
Hmm.
was like, it was $6. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna not buy that, but like, I have no idea when I'll get to read it. Just owning it makes me happy. It's silly.
Yeah, I keep making stacks of like to read, a stack of comics to read, and then I don't read them, and then I put them back in the box, and then I make a new stack, and then I don't read those, and I put those back in the box. And
That's your hobby. It's just making
yeah,
stacks. Not the actual reading of
I,
comics, it's just making stacks of comics.
yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much my week, man.
Okay, cool. I'm glad that you managed to get some work done, man. Like, and on top of the commission work as well. Like, that's one way you can keep on top of at least just doing artwork each week. So at least having these commissions will keep you accountable, regardless
Yeah.
of whether you get comic work done, because you're still drawing, you're still practicing and learning. So
Hmm.
yeah, I just say Ox is in the chat. Said, yeah, I can't help wanting more. I have so many trades I've got to read. So he's definitely the same book as us.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, I'm glad you at least got a little bit done, and this week's definitely turning out a bit better than the last week was before you, man. So that's awesome.
Yeah, me too. Thanks, man.
Um, might as well get into my week. My week's been a bit weird. Um, very much similar to last week, I suppose, in that like my routine is still really shot. Like I've been trying to get up and have these like do these early mornings that I've been wanting to do, and like my mind is just not into it at the moment.
Mm.
And like I'm not working on the children's book anymore. I finished chapter one of Monkey Junk, so there's no real drawing tasks for me to like get up early and just get up and draw. And I know last week when I like set my plan that I'm going to mostly just focus on doing the children's like the how to draw book and also put together the Monkey Junk to go to print, which I did, but like I still felt lazy. I feel like I wasn't doing enough. Um,
Hmm.
so I'm actually like I've got my screen share on at the moment. So I'm actually working on some assets to go into the comic book, um, sort of in the back section, just sort of like a little spot image. But yeah, like creatively, I don't feel like I really got a whole lot done. I'd laid out, actually see if I can find the files, but I managed to lay out all of the first how to draw book, which I think was a pretty good achievement for me. Um, I think it's about when I just thinking about it, it's about 48 pages worth of um, like will be content. So this is just a really rough template of how it's going to look, but it allowed me to just sort of figure out what's going to be in the book and
Yeah.
how it's going to look when it's in print as well. And I've been thinking about how I'm going to lay the book out too, rather than just being like a real typical how to draw a book where it's just like a few spot illustrations and just a whole bunch of text telling you what to do. I'm actually thinking about doing it as like comic book pages. So when you read, similar to like the Scott McCloud books, like Making Comics and Reinventing Comics, etc., like anyone can pick it up and it's just going to be like reading a book. So, I mean, this goes on for like 48 pages, but this is pretty much what I did. Most of it's just a bit of a template for me to just sort of work one by one.
Hmm.
So I think my next step for this one is actually scripting out or at least just noting down how each page is going to look, uh, so I can just begin drawing it and trying to figure out what my schedule is going to be like from now on, whether I just focus on the how to draw book at night and work on Monkey Junk in the morning. So I got that done. Like that was, that was a whole night's worth of work, just putting all of that together. And then I did manage to start on Monkey Junk Chapter 2. So I've got the layouts for page 1 here. And actually, let me just stop screen sharing for a second. And I managed to do, yeah. So I'd originally sketched all the stuff on my computer, and then I was really not enjoying it. So I actually just made like a little booklet for myself and started doing the layouts for pages 1, 2, and 3. And I skipped page 4 and just jumped straight to page 5 because it was just a pin-up of Chris. And this is like, these 2 pages are like the first reveal of Chris, which is I'm very excited about because a lot of people were excited about that character and he's not in the first issue, which makes me sad because he's such a fun dude.
I know, it's so weird.
Yeah, so this, I think the pacing worked out well because we've got issue 1, which introduces Abby and Geordie, and then issue 2, Abby and Geordie already established, you know who they are, and then this introduces Chris and Sprocket.
Mm-hmm.
So that's underway. Spent a bit of time with that on the weekend. And on top of that, I have another script for a singular page comic, which is Monkey Junk related, but that's going to be in the back of issue 1. So I will be sharing it on Patreon. I just got the script today, so I'm going to do the layouts for it tonight so I can get it off to print, well, to do a test print soon. And that's going to be really cool. It's sort of going to tie into the Monkey Junk universe, but it's not actually going to revolve around the main characters. It's going to be sort of like a side story, but they're just going to be single page stories at the end of each issue that you can just sort of like additional content to help build the world. So, like the way that issue 1 ends, like they move into the next dimension and that's it. And then you sort of go through all the bonus content and there's this little comic in the back, sort of like, like when you watch a Marvel film and you go through all the credits and everything, and then you've got this little bit of bonus content, kind of like that.
Cool.
Yeah, sort of along those lines. So we talked about sort of doing something like this a while ago, and then we brought the topic back up, and Lee, the writer, was like, "Oh, I've got the perfect idea." So he sent me the script for that today, and it's really awesome, and it gives me a chance to play around with a couple of new characters, and I'm going to work on that this week. So now that I've got even though it felt like a really shitty week last week, I now have a comic, 2 comics to start drawing, and I also have the how to draw book to start drawing as well. So I think I can start getting back to a routine of doing my early mornings and working at night, and just sort of doing that hustle again. And the how to draw thing, that's sort of working towards my business goal as well. So hopefully that should be drive. But yeah, my drive's just been really shot lately, and I think that's definitely been due to the fact of not having the extra work that I'm used to doing from home, but work at like my actual work has been very mentally exhausting over the past month too. So like it kind of came at a good point, like finishing both books and then coming to this exhausting stage at work probably worked out for the best.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I think this week I'm going to be back on track art-wise, but yeah, I mean, I did a lot, for what I did, I suppose. Yeah. The other thing I was going to share, just so you guys can get a quick look, it might take a little bit to load, so I'm just going to talk and hopefully bide some distraction.
I think that you did do a lot. Like that all sounds like you were still very productive. And James GSR was saying that it looks like that the teaching thing looks like Jason Brubaker's workbook on cognitive drawing, which now that he says that, it does remind me of that actually. So that's kind of cool too.
Interesting. Actually, I just commented, like I know of the book, but I've never actually picked it up. I've always wanted to because I love Jason Brubaker. He's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually not even finished. Like, he's gonna actually apparently do like another Kickstarter or something for it or Indiegogo, and
Oh, okay.
but yeah, you can kind of. It's actually it might be something worthwhile because since you're doing this, maybe it'll help you because you can kind of follow the progress of what he's doing and stuff by
Yeah.
signing. You can like purchase it on his Gumroad, and he updates it as he finishes certain parts and stuff. So you
Oh,
can
that's really
see,
cool.
yeah, you can kind of see the progress of how he's doing it.
Yeah, I'm definitely have become interested in just looking at like tutorial books and stuff. Like I've got
Hmm.
um actually I don't know if you guys I've just turned my screen share on. Hang on. So behind me here, not that it's a lot, but like this shelf I'm just dedicated to all of my how to draw books.
Oh, okay.
And I'm probably going to start collecting a few more as well because I feel like if I'm trying to teach people how to draw and teach people methodologies of the craft, I should still be learning as well. I should be increasing my skill set as I go along to help others.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, like, if you were teaching any sort of subject, you'd constantly be researching and learning about what it is you're trying to teach. So I figured it's smart to try and stay on top of the ball there.
absolutely.
So
I was thinking a similar thing because I've forever wanted to do like a art book or a sketchbook or whatever, like published, and what always kind of trips me up is like I don't really know how I would format it, like how to make it look cool and stuff, but I know I just have to sit down and try to figure it out and maybe look at some other books
yeah,
and stuff.
I agree too, man. Like I don't know if I was talking on this chat or with just a friend of mine, like talking about even just starting the how to draw thing. Like I
Hmm.
spent so much time thinking about what I was going to call it, like having this big project and didn't have a name. And I'd
Hmm.
spent a week procrastinating, like doing other things, but like I could have gotten started and I was too concerned about what this bloody project was called. And it got to the
Hmm.
end of the week and I was like, I've literally done nothing but write a plan for something and stressing like and preventing myself from moving forward because I don't have a name. And I'm like, I can
Yeah.
still do everything else without a name. I can do the name last. Like that's not an issue. It took me a while to sort of realize like if I just sat down and just started doing it, like I'd be creating the content. Like
Yeah.
and I'll just figure out the name later.
Yep.
I think that's like with anything, like you just sit down and just start it. Like, there's always going to be trivial little things which your mind will occupy your thoughts and prevent you from sort of moving forward. Yeah. Um,
Absolutely.
just, while I've got it open, this is book one of Monkey Junk. They're all laid out,
Awesome.
ready to go. There's going to be a page here of just down the bottom here, which will be like ads. So like a classified section in a newspaper.
Yep.
Got like a letter, some concept stuff, and yeah, that's where the comic's going to go down the bottom too.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's
Uh,
all pretty much ready to go to the printers, which is rad.
So exciting.
So I haven't touched the Kickstarter this week. I sort of put that on hold, but
Yeah.
that's getting there too. I was freaking out actually. I was talking to the writer because I was trying to get things done like in a mad dash, and he's like, you know, doing a Kickstarter. He's like, you should take your time, make sure it's good, and spend the time on it. I was like, oh no,
Yeah.
I've got to get done. I've got a convention coming up, so I need to make sure the books are printed and everything. And in my head, the convention was this month in August.
Yep.
And then I was like, wait, let me just check that. And I did a bit of googling, and the convention isn't until November. So all that
Nice.
stress, and it just made me like, okay, I can take a week off. I can sit back and not stress too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, when I was naming the title of today's episode, that's sort of why, like, trying to make the time to get the work done because I feel like I've slacked a lot in like my productivity, and I want to get back to being like uber productive like it used to be.
Well, I mean, did you feel that way when you were actually doing the comic pages? Because maybe that's the thing. Like, I kind of said it too. It's like when, like, I think when we were young or whenever we decided we really wanted to make comics, you know, you think of the actual making the pages as making the comics. You don't think of or understand or even know about a lot of the other stuff. So when you're not doing that, it feels like you're not being productive. But I mean, the evidence is here. You have been productive. You've been doing things.
Yeah, yeah, true. I mean, like looking at it, it does like it feels good to see how much I've done. I suppose
Hmm.
at the time, like for me, I'm just sitting on the couch with Jazz, just watching TV. So
Yep.
for me, being in that space feels like it's non-productive time
Yep.
because it's just unless I'm in my studio or at my desk, I don't feel like I'm actually doing work. It sounds stupid because if I am doing work like I am, but I don't
Yeah.
know. Like it's been nice to be able to just sit on the couch and be a bit more relaxed. But like, yeah,
Yeah.
so you put it in a pretty good way. Like looking at it now, like I've still achieved quite a bit.
Yeah, man.
Mm.
So, what are your goals for next week
So my goals for this week are going to be,
or this week?
oh yeah, I'm going to finish that one pager. I think I'm just going to get that done and out of the way. Uh,
Hmm.
I'm going to try and finish the layouts for chapter two. I'm
Hmm.
sort of getting through it anyway, so I might as well keep up the momentum. And I'm going to start this how to draw book, like actually start it, like start drawing it, or start putting the pages together, and you know the writing that's going to be in it, and then figure out where the drawings are going to go and what I actually have to draw.
Yeah.
I think that's the best sort of direction at this stage is to, as far as moving into the next planning stage of the book, is actually figure out what I'm going to be telling people and how. I think that's it.
Cool.
But yeah, I'll definitely try and read a comic. I'm not going to make any promises this week, but I'm going to try and read a comic.
Think you should make some promises.
All right, I'll read a comic. I don't know what it's going to be. I'll read something.
Cool.
Maybe I should start reading the comic that I bought on the weekend.
There you go.
Yeah. It's so big though. It's so daunting just to pick it up. It's like picking up bone. It's massive.
I know.
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, just really simple, but there's a lot to do within those tasks. So, um,
Yeah, no doubt.
like doing that comic page, like I still have to lay it out, still have to pencil it, still have to ink it, and I still have to letter it. Um,
Right.
but I mean, in the case of like how I was running with Monkey Junk when I was doing it, I was able to keep the pace of one page a week. I don't see why I can't do that this week.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
yeah.
Get right into it.
Plus, it'll be
And
on Patreon next week if it's done. So that's also another sort of motivator to make sure that it gets finished.
yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's me, man. What about you? What's your intentions?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the bare minimum on comics for now. Um, yeah, I don't know. I really excited about making comics, and I really like the idea I came up with yesterday. The thing is I keep getting stuck on like this concept art stuff. Not stuck, but it just takes a long time, basically. Sometimes stuck, but yeah. So I don't know. And then the writing too. I get caught up with stuff, but I'm just gonna keep plugging away with that stuff.
I feel
Hopefully,
like
I get to the point where I'm making pages soon. What?
I feel like you should do a mini comic. like completely unscripted, no character designs, just start one. Just like
Yeah, I mean, that's what I keep doing, but then it turns into, well, then maybe, I start with like this little idea. I did it with Glyph, and then I'm like, well, maybe I should, develop, the character arc a little more. And then you start going down that road, and it's like, oh boy, here we go. Now I'm like developing a whole system of how things work. And actually, the idea I had yesterday was something that it's like I feel like I don't care about enough. Like it's exciting enough to do a comic, but I don't care about it enough to not worry about all that extra stuff.
yeah.
So I
What if
might
you
I might be plugging onto that. We'll see.
what if you did something like a little more slice of life, like your story with your cats at the moment? Like, you could, even if you didn't publish them, like, because it's such a personal story, like, at least then the story already exists. You just need to sort of draw it. Or you could do it
Yeah.
like from the cat's perspective, or, like, that could be a really interesting experiment. Then you don't need to worry about developing the story and developing
Yeah.
characters because they already exist.
Yeah. I could do that. It's a good. I'll think about that. But it's not in the line of stuff I really want to do though.
Yeah. You can
But
feel free to
you
just
know.
tell me to shut up.
No, no, it's not a bad idea because it kind of gets you out of your funk and start, drawing comics. So I totally it makes sense. So I don't know. Yeah, I didn't think about that before. So that's why I'm like, I'll think about it.
Okay.
Possibility.
Okay.
But other than that, I'm gonna, try to read comics again, and I've been pretty successful with that. I missed, I think, 1 week so far, but I've been at least read a little bit, every week. So it's weird because I feel like I'm not reading enough comics still, but again, the evidence is there that I have. So, you just got,
You're just not ready
that's why
to
so
shit.
much of this stuff is, you got to kind of almost throw feelings out of the window because it's just like, same thing with like being productive with work. It's like sometimes you don't feel it, but you just got to sit down and do it. And, it's always going to be like that, or else you're not going to be productive, um, so yeah, anyways, there's that. So I got that commissions is going to be another thing. I'd like to knock all these commissions out, probably not in a week, especially not the bigger ones. The ones that I did for this little run of getting commissions, maybe I could get those done, but I also have like that Moby Dick one, which I totally redrew in a whole different way.
Oh,
Um, because I didn't like the original thing. I think I might have already talked about that. I'm not sure, but
you mentioned that you were going to do it. So I
oh,
didn't
okay.
you had done it.
So I am excited to do that though, because the new thing looks a lot cooler. Um,
Right on.
so that, and then there's another somewhat bigger commission, which maybe I can knock out, but yeah. So commissions, comics, reading a comic. I think that's gonna be it for this week
That's a
for
pretty
for
busy week.
now. Yeah, it is. Yeah, there's so much I want to do. So yeah, I'll just keep it simple though.
Yeah. I don't know if that's simple, but I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Sicko. I was actually like you talking about commissions, I was thinking about doing commissions myself this week.
Hmm.
Um, Not that I need more work, but I could definitely use the extra dosh at the moment. It's bills and everything. So you sort of made me
Yeah.
maybe I should do something similar, and I haven't done it in ages, so it could be a really fun exercise to do that. So yeah,
Yeah.
I've been on Twitter a bit more and talking on there, and a couple of people have mentioned it, or at least expressed interest in it. So I might go down that avenue too. So
That'd be cool. I always like seeing you draw different stuff. I said it before, but I love like you've gotten to a point that I haven't gotten to that I'd like to, where you have a skill to simplify things into a cartoony way. I mean, I can do it somewhat, but
You can definitely.
um, yeah, but you're like, I think that's a skill you've gotten pretty good at, and I really like that, and it's something that I always look at your stuff and think, man, I hope I can get to a point where I'm doing that, to a better level at some point.
Thanks, man.
Um,
I
so
don't quite
yeah.
see it, but I appreciate the kind word. That's awesome. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might do that. I think, like you said, like you get the chance to draw things you wouldn't normally draw, and that'd
Hmm.
be um, that'd be nice. It'd be not as much as I love drawing monkey junk. I'd love to do some Batmans and some Spider-Mans and some Harry Potters and Hellboys and that sort of stuff. So
Yeah, you
yeah.
say that, and then the people are going to commission you to draw like a picture of like
Oh
them at their wedding or something.
yeah, yeah. Strictly no portraits. Straight up fan art or maybe original characters, but no portraits. I am done with portraits. That is just time that I do not have.
Yeah,
Cool. Well, it sounds like it's going to be an interesting week for both of us.
for sure.
And there's a few. Let me read the comments here because I think James was talking about the whole comics thing. Actually, um, Ox has actually said he's pretty sure he's going to be putting together a really quick and rushed Kickstarter for his 2017 sketchbook. So it's good to know that I won't be the only one rushing a Kickstarter out. There's so much work involved too. I mean, like when even the idea of rushing a Kickstarter, like it's still so much involved that you can't really rush it regardless.
Hmm.
But you can do the bare minimum, and it's still so much work.
Yeah.
James has said it's awesome that you guys add reading comics to your to-do list. It has inspired him to hit up local comic shops. Yeah, that's wicked. Definitely worth
Awesome.
your local comic shop. Even like I was actually surprised going to like the thrift store, being able to find comics. I do see that they
Hmm.
have them occasionally. Um, I actually found that my local library has a lot of comics too, which I thought was really really sick.
Yeah, apparently that's a big thing nowadays. It's awesome.
So I hope you do get a chance to pick up some comics, James. That'd be sick. Let us know what you pick up too. It'd be cool to
Yeah.
see what everyone else is reading. I actually have no idea. I think I might make like a little pile of comics that I want to read, and at least then I can talk about what comics I intend to read. And we can actually chat about what we have read.
No, you're gonna read something. I'm gonna hold you to the fire on that one.
If you message me during the week, or anyone, I put it to anyone who watches this video to message me during the week on Twitter, or on Facebook or Instagram, and just like ask me the question, like, have you read a comic yet this week? Um, Give me that push too, because I'll be like, oh damn it, I haven't done it. But like, if you want to hold me accountable, if you want to be that person, do it. Like, I'll very much appreciate it. As much as I'll be like, oh man, leave me alone. I'll appreciate it.
Nice.
So I'm really curious now who will. All right, man. I think we could probably wrap this up.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
8:30 at night for me, so I'm about ready to hit the couch and watch a bit of TV. Possibly going to watch
Nice.
the Avengers.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's about it. That's about it. I think that's all she wrote. You want to tell people where they can find you on the interwebs, man?
Yes, sir. Sorry, burping here a little bit. uh, DonkeyJawProjects.com. Go there, click all the links right in the front, and there's all my social media, but especially check out Instagram. That's where I post my stories and do a lot more activity there than anywhere else. Facebook too, but Instagram, which is Marshall Lee _ DJP. Um, and yeah, that's it.
Nice, nice and easy. Oh man,
Yes, sir.
I just saw Oxes put a message up saying expect messages now this week. Bring it on, man. Bring
You've
it
invoked the axe.
on. Yeah, I know that he'll hold true to that as well. He will. All right. You guys can catch me on YouTube. You are on my channel right now, and all you need to do is hit the little subscribe button down below. Other than that, same as Marsh, like the best place to catch me is on Instagram. You can catch me on either Chris McQuinlan Art, or you can also catch me on Monkey Junk Comic, where I've been posting a lot of stuff in relation to the comic and sort of building up a bit of hype on there. Um, I'm also, I never used to really like it, but this week I've been really jumping on Twitter and really enjoying like just sort of having conversations and chatting to people and just sort of airing my thoughts. And like, I always thought Twitter was another platform to promote my stuff, but I'm actually using it more as a platform to just be me, which has actually been really rad. So if you guys are on Twitter and you want to chat, ask questions and like sort of chat to me away from here, it's definitely a good place to do it. I'm definitely keen on being encouraged to use it more. And I'm actually trialing this little experiment where I actually replaced the Facebook button on my phone or the Facebook app on my phone with the Twitter app. So when I go to automatically hit Facebook, I just open up Twitter, and it's been working a treat, which is really interesting.
Sweet.
Yeah, so I find Twitter is a much nicer space to be on than Facebook. I feel like I'm not wasting my time like I normally would, which is good.
Cool.
Yeah, so you guys can catch me on there, and Facebook and everything else is just Chris McQuinlan Art. But other than that, that's me. I'm going to sign us off.
One quick thing,
Oh,
just
yeah.
one super quick thing. Noah's been here chatting. Just to let you guys know, him
Oh,
and
yeah.
Jan are also doing the check-in, and we have to put those links in the show notes. I didn't add it to mine yet either. But
Yeah.
they're doing the check-in as well, so definitely check them out. And Noah's on Twitter. Noah and Jan are both on Twitter a lot, so yeah.
I'll be seeing them on the tweets later tonight.
Sweet.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching the Making Comics with Marshall Lee and Chris McQuinlan. It has been a pleasure as always. I hope you'll
Yes,
join
sir.
next week, hopefully on Monday. Hopefully our weeks will actually work out normally again. And we'll catch you guys next week. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm definitely tired. All right, guys. Catch you all next week. Have a good one. Keep making comics and kicking butt. Goodbye.
Later.